Okay, so welcome back everyone once again, and as you can see I have my tier maker list up here for the highway and heavy duty class trucks once again, and you're probably wondering, I've seen this video before, I don't need to see it again. However, since the year 1 and year 2 passes have concluded all 8 seasons, the last tier maker that I did was in Season 6, and it did not encompass all the vehicles that are currently in the game, so I'm doing this by request and also just to have an update on my tier list tier makers here. As for a little disclaimer here, before we start, this is my personal tier list from almost 3,000 hours of gameplay. I'm about 40 hours shy of 3,000, so probably here in the next week or week and a half I will hit that mark. So this is from my experience from playing those hours, testing, reviewing trucks and such. So I'm not going to go over every single truck that I put here on this list. The other tier maker list, this is just an added version to it. So if you want to reference vehicles that you're seeing here that I don't dive into, you can go back to that same video and all that stuff still applies. And if you want to see even more info on that vehicle, I have every vehicle in the game has been reviewed and those things have not changed. The game is still the same as it was when it came out. And any updates that have been brought out for vehicles, there is update videos on those as well. So with all that being said, this is my personal tier list. I'm going to have some favorites. I'm going to have some bias, as you do too. As a viewer, you probably have some favorite trucks too, but I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I can here as I set this tier maker up. So not too many changes are going to happen here on this highway and heavy duty class setup here. However, in some videos that you will see that come soon with the off-road and heavy class trucks, I did shuffle some vehicles around just from feeling that some perform a little bit better than the others. So you might see some changes here in some future videos with those tiers. So however, let's fill these in and then we'll talk about the brand new vehicle that is here in the highway and heavy duty class trucks. So CT681 stays in its place. The Western Star 4964 stays in its place. The Brigadier slides right up there behind it. Next is going to be the International HX, and that is the conclusion of the B category. Now, I still believe that the GMC is a strong C. I still believe the Caterpillar CT680 is a strong C, and I still feel that the Kodiak and the Fleet Star are a strong C as well. Something I do want to say about the Fleet Star is, if you watch my randomizer challenge mode, I've been doing some pretty impressive things with highway tires and just differential locking with the Fleet Star from just adding weight to its bed. It really is a good truck despite it being in the C class. All these trucks here in the C class, I still believe are good trucks. Okay, let's move on here. And then we'll talk about this vehicle that is brand new. So put the Transstar back there just because they don't have any all-wheel drive or diff lock. Same thing with the Ford CLT 9000. And now we're going to talk about the Western Star 57X. I've actually done 2 separate videos on this. One was when the initial release came out and it did not have an all-wheel drive upgrade. The second time I did a review on it was an update review whenever Sabre decided to give it a all-wheel drive upgrade and fix its raised suspension. So because I believe it shouldn't sit here in the D category, however, it does not have a differential locking like the rest of these vehicles here, although having a very much stronger engine than all these vehicles on this whole list except for the CT681. The 681 has a 210,000 torque engine. However, the Western Star 57X here has a 220,000 torque engine. So because of that, I still think it slides up into the C category, and we will jump here in game. You're probably going to hear me grab my controller here, click. So just bear with me on that. All right, cool. So as you can see, this is a brand new vehicle, has an awesome little Phoenix skin here, has one of the very strong engines that are shared off with all these Western Star trucks that you saw come out. Good gearbox settings. You can probably use the high range just because it doesn't have a diff lock, and you could utilize the top speed and that high end torque. It does get a raised suspension. However, I don't think it gives it too much clearance here. And that's another reason it did stay where it was, because as you can see, even with the raised suspension, it does give it some bigger tires at 44 inches, yet it's still pretty low to the ground. It is a highway truck. It was meant to be a highway truck from Western Star, and it's also very light in weight. Only weighs 5 tons US. So yeah, however, it does have, you know, higher snorkels and stuff like that. So here's the all-wheel drive upgrade it has. It's really, really nice. However, I think another thing that held it down from moving any farther up was actually its add-ons as well. As you guys know, this is basically a semi-tractor, and I think the fact that it can't use a small crane in conjunction with a low saddle, this definitely held it down. I think if it did have that combination, it might slide up a couple spots because of how strong its engine is and how good it can actually haul semi-trailers, because it is quite good once you put some weight on this thing, because it has such a great power to weight overhead that you can really load this thing up with weight because it's so light and just plow down roads. Also, not having that diff lock kept it back. Anyways, guys, that is my quick tier update list video for the highway and heavy duty trucks. In the future, you're going to see the update to the off-road trucks and also the heavy class vehicles in later videos. However, if you want any more information on why I put these vehicles here, go check out my other tier maker list. It will be in the link in the description of the video. Also, if you want to see more information on each of these trucks, go check out my SnowRunner channel. There is a SnowRunner truck review playlist that you can have. It has every single review of every single truck in the game. So until next time, guys, have a wonderful day. God bless and stay upright.